Noisy Pixel. Mixing the murder mystery genre and supernatural themes together will typically pique my interest. I'm the type that will leave no stone unturned when trying to crack a case. Well, the Moonstone developed Sakuranomori Dreamers has plenty of these elements and more. While the developer is known for their more risque visual novels available, this title ends up being approachable and at times thrilling. Still, the build up to the best parts can feel like a marathon.
間に合った。よかった。新学年早々先生に怒られたら良くないもんね。
Sakuranomori Dreamers introduces Shinji Fukigami, a quiet boy who's had a pretty rough life. He spends most of his time riding bikes with his childhood friend Madoka and hanging out with his mom and sister. However, the story ends up taking a dark turn when it's discovered that Shinji's real parents died in a plane crash, that only his aunt, her daughter, and he survived. So now they act as his family. A lot happened to Shinji on the day of the crash, and we soon discover that he might have gotten a little too close to death, which has a knack of following him around. Across towns he sees invisible creatures and even ghosts of his dead classmates. After another tragedy strikes, he is set on learning more and understanding the plague that has befallen his town. One of the best parts about this story is Shinji himself. He is well written and has a real personality, unlike the empty shells that we might be used to, and not afraid to act in an intense situation. However, he does show growth after learning how to open up to those around him and be honest about what he's going through. The biggest issue here is the pacing. The story has a great foundation, as the seemingly slice of life opening makes it hard to believe the horrors that await the characters in the later chapters. However, the story continues to include these more lighthearted scenes that just don't work in the following parts of the narrative. It's as if the story has an identity crisis and doesn't know which genre it wants to be. This is sad only because the horror moments are so good, but between them are dozens of interactions that don't do anything for the plot. The story also takes its time introducing characters and progressing the narrative, as some scenes overstay their welcome. Still, it's extremely tough not to invest yourself in the mystery, since it's quite compelling and full of supernatural suspects and new developments. I should also add that once the story gets going, it really takes off until the normal route ending. A nice feature that the game has is an others view system, where you can see what is happening between characters when Shinji isn't around. There are 4 possible romance routes in the game, with the group of girls that you surround yourself with. Each route offers a chance to learn more about the characters, but Kuria's route is the only one that has any real connection with the actual plot of the game. The additional endings offer a decent conclusion to the respective relationships, but everything here feels separated from the game's plot. These relationships are entirely removed from the story's narrative, and rightfully so, for reasons that might be considered a spoiler. Still, I don't think the game actually really needed them. I ended up really enjoying the illustrations. Each character is memorable and charming in their own unique way, and there are even several costume changes. It's strange to think about, but after the intense build-up to the conclusion of the normal route, the H scenes emerge in hopes of curing any nightmares that you might be left with. There are also a few animations in the game that depict real jump scares and action sequences. Music here is pretty bland and nothing impressive. It doesn't enhance the experience of the scenes in any way and simply just exists. Sakuranomori Dreamers only suffers from a slight identity crisis, as it struggles to balance its several plot points with its horror elements. However, once the pieces are in place, you're in for a terrifying and energetic experience that made me happy to stick around until the end. There's really no need for the romance routes, but they are there for those who want them. If you're a fan of supernatural mystery, you'll find some great moments of storytelling here after the narrative finds its footing. Noisy Pixel is giving Sakuranomori Dreamers a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.